Welcome to our viewers in Nigeria and across the world. Lunchtime Politics begins right now. In yet another twist, 25 River State Assembly lawmakers led by Martin Zamewule meet in Port Harcourt, the state capital, condemned the demolition of the legislative building by the state government. Ondo Deputy Governor resumes duty as acting governor, says the intrigues around Governor Akeredolu's health were avoidable distractions as he calls for unity within government to move forward. And we speak with parties within the Inter-Party Advisory Council who are at loggerheads with accusations of tenure allegation leveled against the national chairman, Mr. Yobe State. Another day, another twist in the Rivers political drama as the Martin Zamewule-led Rivers State House of Assembly today condemned yesterday's demolition of the Rivers State Legislative Complex by the state government. 25 lawmakers led by Honorable Martin Zamewule this morning met at the auditorium of the Assembly quarters on Aba Road. And in a motion of urgent public importance, the lawmaker representing Andoni constituency, Honorable Lofix Kabang, condemned the demolition, a motion which was unanimously adopted by the members. They also adopted a certain Rivers Local Government Amendment Bill to eliminate the governor's powers to dissolve LG executive councils.
I so second. Those in favor of the passage of this bill are 25 in number, against nil, abstention nil. Distinguished colleagues, what I just heard is that the 10th Assembly of Rivers State is fully in support of the passage of the Rivers State Local Government Amendment Bill 2023, which is a bill for a law to amend the Rivers State Local Government Law No. 5 of 2018 and for other connected matters. Distinguished colleagues, this bill is an important bill and is a bill that seeks to amend Section 4 and other subsections of Section 64 and other subsections, and paving the way for outlawing of the powers of the governor to dissolve local governments. Now that we have voted in favor of the passage of this bill, and when it is assented to, the governor will no longer have the power to dissolve local government. He will have no power anymore to sack council chairman, sack councillors duly elected. Distinguished colleagues, what it clearly shows is that we are in support of the judgment of the Supreme Court that elected officials cannot be merely sacked by the whims and caprices of chief executives. What we have done so far is to also remove from the principal law the issue of caretaker committees in our law. What we intend to do is to ensure that caretaker committees will no longer be in place in Rivers State.
Well, it appears the drama is far from over. Yesterday on the show, we spoke with one of the members in the Amawule group, and today on the program, we'll be speaking with a group which has spoken in support of Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the Edison Ehie group. We're joined on the program by the President, Ijo Youth Council Worldwide, Dr. Alaye Theophilus, joins us live from our Abuja studio. Welcome to Lunchtime Politics. Well, you may have just heard the Martin Zamewule-led lawmakers meeting now and condemning the demolition of the State Assembly in such manner. And I wonder, Ijo Youth Council, do you agree with the demolition, which has been described as a waste of public resources and even a desecration of the hallowed chambers?
Thank you very much. You know, one thing you have to understand is the governor of Rivers State is the chief security officer of the state, and protection of life and property is one of his responsibility. And of course, we all understand what happened in the early marks of the crisis there in Rivers State, when we heard that the Rivers State House of Assembly building was put on fire and there were some explosion of dynamite. With expertise, advice, and all the rest, the governor thought it wise. Instead of keeping the building in that manner, and to avoid the building being collapsed on river sons and daughters, it is advisable that the building should be brought down so that immediately new edifice can be built for the House of Assembly activities. And I believe it was done as a result of advices from experts in the architectural field, engineers. So any person that is condemning what the River State governor did is doing it out of ignorance, because we have to be truthful to ourselves. Life and property is the responsibility of the governor to safeguard in River State, in as much as it has to do with Rivers people. And that is what he did. But for people that representing constituents in the assembly will be carrying out activities that are dishonorable is really disheartening. Because what these 25 lawmakers are doing in River State is very, very heartbroken. It's very, very disappointing, based on the fact that the Niger Delta that we are trying to build is a Niger Delta that will be business friendly, that will be peaceful, and will be stable for foreign investors to come in. Over time, the Niger Delta region has always been pictured in the media and public spaces like very hostile environments where investors, business partners cannot come. We are not still ignorant of what happened in Warri when the Warri crisis engulfed in Warri and business activities was completely brought down.
Right.
Today, Warri is still struggling to get back to position. So we wouldn't allow some few group of individuals to turn River State into the Warri kind of position.
Well,
so what
in resolving,
did in the demolition of the
right. Pardon me. In resolving this crisis, I think you made that point. You say that you feel the River State government was right to have done this, and that's of course contrary to what others have said on this matter. But in resolving this issue, and I think you've spoken about how it's important to present the Niger Delta, in this case River State, as a safe place for business. But this political crisis has to be resolved. But the question is, do you really know what the issues are exactly? Are you aware of who exactly is aggrieved, who needs to be appeased, who needs to be called to the table? Because so far, what a lot of people have seen is a burning of the State Assembly, the defection of the lawmakers. Some will say that is not the root of the issue itself. Are you aware? And if there will be a reconciliation, who are the people that need to be on the table to speak?
Thank you very much. That is just the problem, The root cause of this entire crisis is power tussle, godfatherism. People want to be dictating for people. We are all aware, the immediate past governor, who is the current minister of FCT, he is the political godfather of River State, in as much as we know that River State politics is concerned. But when he was leaving office, he made us understand that he will never dictate to his successor. But what is happening in River State is basically not even a political structure. It's financial power tussle. The immediate past governor still want to control the financial affairs of River State.
But
he wants to dictate how contracts are being awarded.
Just to put this on record, because I asked one of the lawmakers yesterday categorically about this, and he said, well, the former governor does not have a hand in this, that they made that decision themselves, that they are able to think and decide for themselves. So do you have proof in that regard? Because they have time and again said he's not involved.
If they say that they did it because they thought that is for the best interest of Rivers people, as lawmakers, do they reach out to their constituents for a town hall meeting to inform them that this is the position of things barely 5 minutes into office? As lawmakers, you hold your constituents responsibility to always brief them on your steps, your actions, for the best interest of Rivers people. That is not it. And I can tell you for free that this entire crisis is being blown out by the FCT minister, which is the immediate past governor of Rivers State. And to keep every record straight, let it be on record that the reason why they decamp also to the APC without even the PDP having crisis is a clear indication that it is as a result of the body language and the political alignment that the FCT minister, which is the immediate past governor of Rivers State, has found. And I can tell you, this crisis, if it is not controlled, it might end up eating up the entire polity of Rivers State and the entire Niger Delta. And that, I know, will definitely affect the economic position of Nigeria.
Which is why this needs to be resolved. Right? You can land on that point as we wind down.
Mr. President,
Okay, you are going to quickly make the point about Mr. President as we wind down.
Yes, what I'm trying to say is that Mr. President, as a Democrat, understands the importance of having a stable business environment in the Niger Delta.
Right.
Rivers State is the political epicenter of the Niger Delta, and Mr. President will not wash. And because so many persons are using the name of Mr. President to be giving dictating to the military and the security architectures to be carrying out activities that has nothing to do with the interests of Mr. President. That is just one of things.
Certainly what we want is peace, and it's good to know that you are also for that. But we'd like to thank you so much, Dr. Alaye Theophilus, President of Joy Youth Council Worldwide. Thank you so much for your time. Incidentally, you're not far from the presidential villa, so I imagine that the message will resonate. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, staying with some issue that I'd seen drama in the past, but looks like it's been resolved. I'm talking about the political situation in Ondo State. And a day after taking over the saddle of power in the state, the acting governor, Mr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa, is asking residents to face the path of progress in the development of the state. The acting governor, during a statewide broadcast, says it has become important to put past events behind, saying what happened was a temporary delay in the democratic journey of a Sunshine State. Mr. Aiyedatiwa says the intrigues that ensued following the governor's health, that's the governor's health challenge, were unnecessary, as it calls for prayers for the quick recovery of Governor Akeredolu. He's also asking for support of members of the State Executive Council in steering the ship of the state.
The event which have culminated in today's address is a watershed in the annals of our experience as a people. It is not a moment of celebration, but rather a moment of sober reflection, a moment for us to really appreciate the collective burden of moving our state forward. The events of the past months have indeed challenged our love for our state and indeed democracy, which we all profess. As a government, we must appreciate the sovereignty of the people that voted us into office, and we regret in no unmistakable terms the toll which this whole episode had inflicted on the psyche of the people and the development of the state.
So this is a culmination of months of political drama, and of course it follows the health of Governor Akeredolu. It began at the State Assembly with plans to impeach the deputy governor who was acting at that time. Well, the deputy governor, of course, went to the court, and the court gave an order asking the Assembly to hold up on that. The Assembly, of course, followed through in the court as well, and the eventual intervention by President Bola Tinubu. We did hear the Commissioner of Information in the state at some point saying that the deputy governor had been asked to sign a certain letter of resignation, undated letter, and there were lots of intrigues following both at the courts, political intervention, and the rest. But it appears that today seems to be a way forward now in the political situation in Ondo State. And there you see the acting governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, speaking there, trying to rally together the people of the state and, of course, the government for the good of the state. Well, we'll keep watch on what's going on in Ondo State. Let's tell you about Yobe State, where Governor Mai Mala Buni has granted approval for the State Independent Electoral Commission to conduct local government elections on May the 25th, that's next year, across 178 electoral wards of the state. The executive chairman of the commission, Maman Mohammed, disclosed this at the stakeholders meeting in Damaturu, saying that forms for chairmanship will be sold at 300,000, while those for vice chairmanship and councillors will be sold at 250,000 and 200,000 naira, respectively.
The Executive Governor of Yobe State, His Excellency Honorable Maima Labuni, CON Chiroman Gujuba, has given the approval to the State Independent Electoral Commission to adjust the date of election for the 17 chairmen and 178 councillors of the local government council in Yobe State to be on the 25th of May 2024. The State Independent Electoral Commission will therefore take responsibility to undertake, organize, and supervise the local government council elections, which shall be free, fair, credible, and peaceful. All Yobians are eligible to contest for councillorship and chairmanship election after attaining the age of 25 and 30 without gender bias.
Turn our attention to the brewing crisis within the umbrella body for all registered political parties in Nigeria. That's the Inter-Party Advisory Council. Well, we call them IPAC for short. And this crisis has caused a sharp divide in the leadership of the council, as some accuse the chairman, Mr. Yobe State, of illegally extending his tenure. Of course, this caused a heated argument during the meeting of the council earlier this week. So let's explore this further. You may have seen chairmen of political parties in the country, from Labour Party to the YPP and the rest. Well, we had expected to have Mr. Yobe State, the chairman of IPAC, with us, but in his stead is Chief Ralph Nwosu, the national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, joining us from our Abuja studio. Thank you for joining us on Lunchtime Politics, Chief, as well as Mr. Yusuf Dantale, IPAC National Secretary. He's of Allied People's Movement. Both gentlemen, of course, in our Abuja studio. Let me begin with you, Chief Nwosu, because the accusation against Mr. Yobe State is illegally extending his tenure as chairman. Some of the executives say, well, they don't want to be a part of this. They don't want to be a party to this, and they are calling for election. If for IPAC, which is an advisory body, not even for election purposes, is unable to put its house in order, a lot of people wonder what will happen in the political parties individually, and by extension, in government. So what is the root of this disagreement, Chief?
Thank you very much. There's no real disagreement in IPAC. IPAC is trying to set a clear model and be a responsible regulatory authority for political parties and people who are practicing politicians. And they've been trying to do that seriously under the leadership of the chairman, Yobe, and also the secretary, Dantale, who is here with me. However, the only problem is that for the first time for the IPAC, Alhaji Dantale wants to become chairman, and while Yobe is contesting for his second term, which is constitutionally appropriate. And the whole council came together. I mean, before our last meeting, some of us have taken the peace initiative. We've gone to almost everybody, including my good friend here, our chairman, and almost everybody that was serving in the council for the last 2 years. And we tried to mediate peace. But when it became so difficult, what we now did is, okay, let the general council meet. And the general council is like the convention of a party. This General Council, we are 19 political parties, and luckily, almost all of them were present. And we said, okay, you know what? Whatever is the problem, let's conduct the process 2 days ago. Let's conduct it in a very democratic manner. These are the stakeholders who will vote on the 18th. We are now here. So whatever is the problem amongst you people who are serving in the council, we want to look into it. And they stated, one, we have the electoral panel, which was already set up by IPAC. They are conducting the election. The election will have been held on the 13th or before the 13th. However, because of the centenary, which is a big thing as far as politics in Nigeria is concerned, the centenary 100-year celebration of a political party first registration by Herbert Macaulay and his team in Nigeria, right. We thought this is a time to signpost the type of politics we want to, the type of democracy we want Nigeria to evolve into. Okay. And that affected the date of the election. Now, let me finish. Now, the whole council sat and said, let the election hold on the 18th. And on that 18th, you people are in charge. We want to vote whether this group must should be in place until that 18th, so that we don't have a vacuum. And all the parties, 12 parties voted. Let the team act as interim body so that we don't have any crisis. But on the 18th, the electoral panel should immediately evolve and organize the election so that we can equally vote. But for some reasons, people decided to try to disrupt it. But we insisted and voted.
Because of time, I'd like to bring in Alhaji Dantale now. You have given a background, which, of course, we've seen Alhaji Yabagisani also speak to that effect. But Alhaji Dantale, so is this primarily because you also want to become chairman? Because for Chief Nwosu, he says, well, this is pretty much straightforward and simple. So what exactly is your grouse, and perhaps for other chairmen?
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. With due respect to my leader here, Chief Raf Nwosu, I disagree with the misinformation he just gave. I have been the secretary of the council for 2 to 3 years now, and what is happening is not about any personal ambition, but about illegality and injustice. IPAC, as an umbrella body, as the umbrella body of all political parties, is supposed to be to set the precedence for all the democratic institutions. Every member of the executive, the legislature, today is a member or is a product of political party. So democracy must begin from within the political parties. Himself, Raf Nwosu, I met him to tell him, if you want to run, come and run for this election. I met 4 other leaders of political parties. If you want to run, I'm not interested. But not a man who does not have democracy or democratic tenets in his own political party. People can go and do your investigation. IPAC has a code of conduct, which every member of the council is expected to abide by the dictates of the conduct. And I can maybe briefly run through the preamble. That we, the registered political parties of Nigeria, cognizant of the role of political parties in consolidating and deepening our democracy, ensuring an environment conducive for successful elections, political stability, enduring democracy, and overall well-being of Nigerians, aware of the need to be more democratic in the conduct of our activities, in ensuring discipline, peace, unity, understanding, respect for each other, transparency and credibility in the electoral process, do hereby resolve to give ourselves the following code of conduct, which shall be binding. There's no exception. So if we say everyone shall be binding on this, we must, if anything is going outside the provisions of this, we have to call the attention of the council or the General Assembly to it. This is exactly what I am doing. If today the General Assembly see that there's anybody better you bring forward than me, I swear to God I will put off my ambition. It's not about me. Who am I? What? Okay, if I'm not alive, with democracy not thrive? It's not. No. We must put things straight. And in the code of conduct, it is clear. What we have 2 years tenure. And then from the day you are sworn in, you already know when you are leaving. And the code of conduct spelled it out that the General Assembly shall establish an interparty advisory council. No, sorry. Let me get to this. One of the functions of the General Assembly, that it is to constitute electoral committee for the conduct of elections into the executive committee.
So essentially, Alhaji Dantale, you're saying that Alhaji Yabagi Sani has overshot his tenure and you want him to step down immediately.
Let me just give you.
No, is that what you're asking for?
From the code of conduct. The thing is, the code of conduct is saying the General Assembly must set or constitute an electoral committee not later than 2 months.
Right.
Before the expiration of our tenure.
Okay. So are you saying that he should step down right away, or how many days or weeks does he have as we wind down now?
It is not about stepping down. It is about our tenure ends automatically on the 13th.
All right.
So coming to bring, if you have 2 years,
okay.
If you have 2 years and you know about this, and you are not able to set up the committee to the General Assembly, what can you do in 3 days?
We have to anchor right now. But just quickly, Chief Owosu, since this is what the people seem to want, or at least the executives, is Alhaji Yabagi Sani also considering that in the spirit of fairness and democracy? 30 seconds, please.
Thank you very much. 2 days ago, all the parties were there, all the critical stakeholders. APC was there, represented, PDP was there, Labour Party was there, APGA was there, NNPP was there, ADC was there, all the parties, including all the parties were there. And we said we have this small window, these 3 days, that the executives, you've done well. If all of us are judged that that the executives did well, and my friend here is saying they didn't do well, you know, that is, by the way, we say they did well. Within these 3 days, you are, we all of us, the 19 of us who will still vote on Saturday, 12 of us voted, 2 abstained. APC voted, come, the executive should continue. PDP voted, the executive can continue. Labour Party voted, NNPP voted, ADC voted, name almost all the parties. They said, continue. We don't want a gap. But on Monday, Barrister Dan Wanyang will
We've overshot our 30 seconds. We're totally out of time, Chief Ralph Nwosu. Perhaps we'll take this up another time. But clearly, there's a lot of democracy that needs to take place within IPAC, and we look forward to that. We'd like to thank you so much, gentlemen. Chief Ralph Nwosu, National Chairman, ADC, as well as Alhaji Yusuf Dantale, IPAC National Secretary and of the APM. Thank you for your time on Lunchtime Politics. Well, that's been the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay with Channels Television for all of the breaking stories right here. I'm Kayode Kikelu. Goodbye.